Ellis, 95 Builds. We're back to show you the progress, what I've made on my build so far within the past year. I got into the donk game. One, my dad had one, and my grandmother had one before they were called donks, to build a timeless classic. If I put 26s on it, it's gonna play, or if I have the stocks on there, it's still gonna play. If you get into the donk game and you're working 9 to 5, you gotta get your extra hustle. Build, 1973 convertible. See, I've been able to drop my motor, my transmission in. I've kind of situated the front end as well. Today I was working on another rear end where I was trying to narrow it so that I can put some bigger lips on the back. During the build process, I changed my mind on a couple of things, reconsidered a couple of things. So I got my rear end out here, my Mosier custom rear end, and I'm getting everything together, trying to line up everything with the new brake brackets, because I want to do disc brakes in the back instead of like drum that I initially have on the car. Now probably have about 90% of what I need to put the car back together. Like all of my pieces, from my chrome to my trim, all my parts and everything are here, ready to go. So right now at this point, I'm just trying to finalize a couple of little things and get it back going, get the body back on the car.
Question for everybody is, how do you feel about this project? Like, as far as how long it's taken you and what you've accomplished?
The accomplishments so far, I'm happy with. The COVID, like what everyone else, has kind of set me back a little bit, but I was able to get over that hurdle, get everything together on this end. Now I'm back into the garage, which is the clean part of the build. Once I get it painted, I'm happy. The motor and the transmission, and I got the motor done at Revenge Power, one of the best down here in South Florida, along with my ATF transmission. The motor, getting it to line up with standard big block motor mounts, it wasn't too bad. The gearbox, that was not too bad either. The headers kind of gave me a problem getting in, but you know, I raised it up, I slid those in. Probably the biggest challenge I had was getting these big block springs to sit inside of the control arms. Pretty much it took me having the right tools to get it to compress where I could get it in where it needs to sit. What it boiled down to was me having the right tool. A couple of little modifications I had to make to get the 4080 to sit where the 400 used to sit, but everything, as you can see, is kind of tied in, and I should have a nice build when I'm finished. Biggest thing to this is just trying to make sure that once I decide on something, I stick with it. And a couple of times within the build, I had to change my mind on certain things, so you kind of lose out. But as long as I'm happy in the end, I'm good. With the bead rolling, that right there is an art form in itself. Along with the welding, they kind of tie into each other. So with the bead rolling, now I'm getting into where guys are asking me to do firewalls, creative firewalls for them and things like that. So I'm just enhancing, you know, my knowledge and my skills on this build.
And how are you doing on the welding, man? Like,
the welding is a process. It's not overnight, and you definitely have to take your time with it, but I'm learning. Fresh Welds is showing me how to weld. I'm going to trade school in the evening times. Right now we're doing virtual, but once everything opens back up, that'll resume. And I'm tying everything in with this build with what I'm doing actually hands-on behind the scenes.
And if you don't mind, man, tell me that story about where your wheel money went and what was your process on that.
Well, when the COVID hit, things slowed down. I was trying to come up with another plan, so I was like, okay, I got a little savings set aside. So what I did was I invested pretty much in myself, and I bought the bead roller, and I bought me a nice multi-processing welder. With that, I'll be able to make that money back.
Back money right, Chevy banging, running tight, light turning yellow on me, I don't stop my run.
My roof back, my Chevy banging, my Chevy banging. My roof back, my roof back, my roof back, roof back. My money right, my roof back, my roof back. My Chevy banging, my Chevy banging.
Walking with your